What is up, everybody? How you doing today? Welcome back to the Hunter Call of the Wild, and today we have another top 5 video. I know it's been a couple weeks since I've done one of these, so I figured it was probably time to do another one. And as y'all have already seen the title and the thumbnail of the video, today we will be going over kind of like the top 5 most anticipated great ones to come in the future. What would be probably the most likely great ones to come, and kind of the best ones to come, in my opinion, just in the near future. Because EW has put out polls recently about what great ones we would like to see, and that is what I based this video off of. Which ones had the highest votes, and so on. So it looks like, starting off with number 5, we have fallow deer, and personally this is the one that I want the most. Fallow deer are easy to grind, and they already look super impressive. The diamonds are fairly common, so it keeps you interested in a grind, whereas with some other species, diamonds would be like once in a million. So that makes it a little bit harder to stay enthusiastic while grinding. Like, I would never want to try and grind for a great one red fox, but I think a great one fallow deer would be really cool and would definitely be something interesting. I think they could do either go one of two ways. They could do something like what they did with whitetail, just make the racks bigger, or they could go the route of red deer and kind of put something in the antlers. Maybe have a little bit of variance from the normal diamond racks, but overall keep it similar and just add something unique. And I think that would be a really good idea, and that is why fallow deer is at number 5. Alright, and as you can tell, we are out here on Vurhonga, and that is because our number 4 most likely great one is going to be the Cape Buffalo. And surprising as that sounds, they actually had a fairly high percentage in the votes on YouTube for Expansive Worlds. If I can pull it up here beside me on my laptop, there it is. Buffalo and bison were second to moose with, I think, like 15% of the vote or something. So that was pretty good because moose beat out everything by a lot, and we'll go ahead and say that that's going to be later in the list. But Cape Buffalo were not something I was expecting, but I mean, it makes sense. The diamonds look so impressive, and whenever they added a great one, Cape Buffalo, they would probably end up adding true racks for Cape Buffalo, because this is still a species that does not have true racks. And if an Africa map is on the horizon and Cape Buffalo are on it, it might not be a bad idea to, well, go ahead and add a great one or two to a new map. I don't know. I think that would be kind of interesting, and it would be really cool. I think Cape Buffalo would be something you could kind of like make a real scarred up great one or something. Like, he's got all kinds of scars on him from battle, like got a broken horn or something, and really big, maybe like even a bigger body size. And when he sees you, he's like aggressive or something. I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool. Just something different, something unique. And that's kind of the whole idea, I think, with the great ones, is to just add a unique challenge that's really hard to get and gives you something to go for. Alright, and for our number 3 species for a potential great one candidate, we have the lion. And this is a species I'm not really surprised to see on this list at all. Lions are hunted a lot. A lot of people love these guys. I like the lions. I just, now that I have a diamond one, I really don't feel the need to hunt them so much. But if they added a great one, I would definitely go for it. That would be super cool. And it would be more of a difficult animal to grind for. Lions are not easy to grind at all. But it would be something very unique. Again, like the Cape Buffalo. And actually, I think this is the only animal on this list that has no antlers or horns. So, like the Cape Buffalo, it could be very unique. Like I said, how any great one should be. You could have a very scarred up line, maybe a different kind of color. Kind of like how they did with the red deer. They gave them the fabled spotted. I think it's a great idea. Give the great ones a different fur type. I think that's a really, really good idea. And definitely something that should be continued, because it kind of makes the great one, I don't know, stand out more in your lodge. The whitetail, I mean, it just has a very impressive rack that really stands out, but overall fur type wise, he looks just like your average whitetail, whereas the great one red deer looks very unique, and I like that, and that is something they could really do well with the lions. And the lions were very highly voted on by the community. So I don't know, with an Africa map maybe on the horizon, it could be interesting to see whether or not we get one of these. All right, and for our number 2 spot on this list, we have the moose, and this was an extremely highly voted upon species. It won 2 out of the 3 polls by probably 40% of the vote. Absolutely ridiculous number of people want a moose as the great one, and I could definitely see this one being a possibility. And the nice thing is, you could have a really big moose. I think this is an instance where you could almost combine the increase in size and stuff in the antlers. I think that would be really neat. You could kind of do like a hybrid of like how the red deer great one and the whitetail great ones are in their appearance. I think that would be really neat. My only issue with moose is they are super hard to grind because they are so spread out on all 3 maps that they're on. So Medved Taiga, Layton Lakes, and Yukon Valley all have so much water that it would be kind of hard to isolate a single area or just several certain lakes for moose to hunt. And that's kind of like what I like about fallow deer, Cape Buffalo, lions. They're all at lakes, and you can hunt those lakes. But moose, I mean, they're all on the ice. All this ice, this whole river, all these tiny little dots on Medved have moose. Same goes for Layton. It's just like an entire river system. They could be anywhere. And same goes for Yukon. And that kind of makes it a little bit difficult in my mind to grind for a Great One Moose. But overall, I think the idea of a Great One Moose is fantastic, and I think they could look really good. EW could really do something special with a Great One Moose, and it would kind of stick to the theme of doing some of the original animals as Great Ones. You know, they've done whitetail and red deer. Moose is one of the original species, so it makes sense that they would do a great one of that. Alrighty guys, and last but not least, our number 1 species on this list is elk. And I'm sure we can see some of them down there. Fortunately, mostly just females. But elk were actually the number 1 most voted upon species. And I was kind of surprised to see that. I expected moose to beat out elk because moose won the first 2 polls. And then EW put elk in the 3rd and final poll, and I couldn't believe it when elk won. Now, mind you, which kind of elk it will be, that is up to debate. I would argue Rocky Mountain elk because Silver Ridge Peaks is, I think in general, a more liked map than Layton Lakes. It is currently, I think, still one of the most popular maps, and I think always will be. But it is, the elk could be really cool. They could make them even bigger, which I don't know how they could do that with the Rocky Mountain elk. They are already massive, but they could do something along the lines with the red deer. Keep them a similar size, just add massive, like objects in the antlers would be really neat. More leaves and stuff. That would be kind of cool. I've seen pictures of elk with stuff in their antlers. It is really cool looking. Or maybe an elk in velvet. I don't know. That would be kind of neat. Just my opinion on that. I think that would be really, really cool. The hardest part with doing Roosevelt elk on Layton Lakes, in my opinion, is right now rosies are really bugged. I'm lucky I even got my diamond. They are hard to find. They disappear if you don't shoot them just right, and you get the invisibility glitch and all that stuff. You can't taxonomize them properly. They'll lose their antlers. So I don't really know, unless they were able to fix them really easily, they wouldn't really want to do Roosevelt elk. So that kind of leaves Rocky Mountain elk. And as usually, EW has been doing a very good job of here in the past little bit. They have been listening to the community and what they want. And right now, the most voted upon species is elk. So that it'll be interesting to see which one ends up actually becoming a great one. My bets is probably going to be on, I'm going to say elk. I'm going to say the next one's going to be elk. They're also a more original species. If they were to do rosies, Rocky Mountain elk are cool as well. But yeah, I mean, it would kind of be interesting just to see which route they go with this. Let me know down below which species you all think will be the next great one. Is there any that I missed you think would be, I don't know, more likely to become the next great one? I don't know. I'm interested to hear. And what would be your ideas for what the great one should look like for any of these species? Like, do you think he should be in velvet? Do you think it should, I don't know, have more leaves in its antlers, or just overall be bigger, or for that matter, just a combination of all of them? So let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear what you all have to say. So with all that said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful, and I will see you next time.